Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into a story today that's packed full of faith and, oh man, miracles. It's a story that, well, completely upends this one couple's life. And it all starts in ancient Judea.
Under King Herod's reign, right?
That's right,
Mhm.
during Herod's reign. And we're focusing on Zechariah. He's a righteous priest.
Uh-huh.
And his wife Elizabeth. Now, these two were like the model couple when it came to faith.
Really devout.
Super devout.
Yeah.
But they carried a really, really heavy burden. They were childless, and they were getting up there in years.
Yeah, and back then, it wasn't just a personal thing, right?
No.
It was like a huge societal issue to be childless.
Mhm.
People would see it as a sign of God's disfavor, like almost a punishment. Can you imagine?
Oh, I can't even imagine, like, what a weight that stigma must have been.
Especially for someone like Zechariah,
A priest.
Yeah.
Respected in the community, yeah.
So let's actually set the scene. Imagine a typical day at the temple, right? People are everywhere. It's bustling. It's full of activity.
Lots of energy.
But for Zechariah, this day's about to become, well, extraordinary.
How so?
He gets chosen by lot.
Chosen by lot.
Like, literally, they put names in a container, and his name was drawn, to perform a super sacred duty.
Oh, wow.
So think about this, right? There are hundreds of priests, all hoping to get this once-in-a-lifetime honor of entering the Holy of Holies.
The inner sanctuary.
The innermost sanctuary of the temple. I mean, this was like considered the most sacred spot.
Wow.
This is where God's presence was believed to actually dwell. And Zechariah, he's the chosen one.
What an honor.
So he steps into this holy space. You can imagine like incense smoke everywhere. And while everyone else is outside praying, right? You can almost feel the anticipation.
Yeah.
And then, boom,
What happened?
the angel Gabriel appeared.
Oh, right.
Not your everyday temple visitor, right?
No.
This is God's messenger. And he has news that's about to rock Zechariah's world.
Oh, I bet. So Gabriel announces that Elizabeth, despite her age, is going to have a son.
What?
And not just any son. This child will be John, a prophet destined to, like, pave the way, prepare the way for the Lord.
So the opening act for the Messiah.
Exactly. I mean, that's huge.
Monumental, yeah.
But here's where things get really interesting. Zechariah, this guy, so devout, he doubts.
He doubts.
He actually flat out asks Gabriel, how can this even be?
That's a pretty bold question to ask an angel, right?
Well, I kind of understand where he's coming from, though. It does seem impossible.
It does.
I mean, given their age and everything.
Yeah.
So what happens after he doubts?
Well, doubting a divine messenger has consequences.
Yeah.
Zechariah is struck mute,
He can't talk.
can't talk,
Oh.
until the prophecy comes true. Like a physical manifestation of his disbelief,
It's a powerful sign.
Yeah.
So picture this, right?
Oh.
Zechariah leaves the temple, and he can't tell anyone about what just happened.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, Elizabeth conceives.
Mm-hmm.
The impossible becomes reality.
I can only imagine what she was thinking.
Well, and you know what? What she does is she withdraws from society for 5 months.
She just like stays home?
Yeah, she goes into seclusion. It kind of feels modern.
Yeah, it
right?
does. It's intriguing.
Like what was going on in her head during that time. She's finally going to be a mom.
Right.
But she's carrying the weight of this massive prophecy, too. And not to mention, like, the social implications,
Yeah.
right?
She's no longer the barren woman.
Yeah. People are going to see her differently. I wonder how that shift in perception, like, impacted her.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
For sure. So I imagine that period of seclusion, it must have been a time of really deep reflection for her, trying to grasp, like, the enormity of it all. But you know what really strikes me about this story?
What's that?
Even with this divine intervention, there's this very human element. Zechariah's doubt, Elizabeth's need for solitude.
It makes it very relatable.
Isn't
Even
it?
thousands of years later,
It's so true. I think it reminds us that faith, it's not just about blindly accepting.
Right.
It's about wrestling with doubt, facing unexpected things, and ultimately, like, trusting in something bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely.
So for everyone listening right now, what's the takeaway here? What does this story tell you about your own journey with faith, your own experiences with doubt?
And even those moments where, like, the impossible seems to become possible. Have you had anything like that? I know I have.
You know, those little glimmers of hope.
Yeah, those glimmers, exactly.
Where do you see yourself in this story? And how does it inspire, knowing that even when you're facing doubt, there's always room for hope
There's always room for miracle.
and for deeper understanding of the divine?
But the divine,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, that's all the time we have today.
Oh, already.
We could go on forever, though. I have a feeling about this one.
I know, me too.
We barely scratched the surface.
We did.
But it's a story that has so much to teach us about faith.
And death.
And facing the unexpected in our own lives.
Well, that was good.
It was.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
Until next time.